a mysterious call from around the world. This and more on Real Life Angel Encounters. Angels, we all have them. They're our unseen guides, our companions, our teachers, and they're all around us. Sometimes they make themselves known in the most miraculous ways. Join me, Level 3 QHHT practitioner, angel communicator, and Reiki master, Christy Clemens Hoffman, with stories from real people who have experienced uplifting phenomena and real-life angel encounters. And now we have a story with Nancy Yearout. Nancy was on the Radiate Wellness podcast, which is my other podcast, to talk about her new book. And I'm sorry, Nancy, the name of that escapes me.
It's a guide to angel communication and spiritual law.
Oh, and it is so good. I was able to look through it for the other podcast, and it is so comprehensive. Instructions, very simple to follow on how to connect with your angels, how to talk with your guardian angel, spiritual laws, and everything. It's just like a very, very comprehensive book. Anyway, Nancy, thank you so much for joining me today. This is really great.
Thanks for having me back. I appreciate it.
And I want to mention you've got your own podcast as well.
I do. I have High Road to Humanity is my podcast. I started it back in 2018, and I have really enjoyed interviewing guests from all over the world, actually.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
like you.
Yeah, right? Isn't it the best?
Yeah, it's great. Yeah.
I remember when I interviewed my first person who was overseas and actually had an accent. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so exciting. That was years ago. I've interviewed so many people since. Now, of course, you were on the Radiate Wellness podcast to talk about your book on angels. Angels are your life, I should say.
That's true.
That's
That's very true.
yeah. What else do you do besides write books about angels?
Well, I do have the podcast and I do psychic readings for people because my angel stands right next to me. We all have a guardian angel, and I work with my angel every day. And so there are people out there who do have questions. And so I answer their questions and I do connect them with their own guardian angel with my readings. So I think it's kind of an extra little bonus. And I think it's something we all need to connect, connect with the divine, connect with the earth, and connect with your guardian angel. It's kind of my mission.
I told you the last time that we talked that I'm on this mission of world domination to let people know that they're not alone. We're never
Right.
alone. We've got our team with us at all times. But on this podcast, you're coming here because you've got stories of your own. In fact, you have a story of someone from Tibet.
Well, I started my podcast because I wrote my first book, Wake Up, the Universe is Speaking to You, because I wanted to teach people about energy and how the energy works. So I started doing the podcast and really bringing in the light. I learned that I was supposed to connect every day, and that's how I would get messages. So I was meditating daily. And at that time, I was in a house that had a landline. And one afternoon, the phone rang and I had caller ID, and it said it was a call from Tibet. And so, being curious, I answered the phone. And I had been working with Archangel Michael for a few years, asking for protection, establishing a relationship, but I'd never had him visit me where I could see him. So I answered the phone, and it was a monk from Tibet. And he said, I have been channeling and I have been meditating, and I have received a message from Archangel Michael. I've been given your number to call you. Are you the girl who has crystals all around you? And I said, yes. I looked around, I had crystals, and he was kind of irritated. He said, I was meditating. I was told to call you. Archangel Michael says that you will write 2 more books and that you're on the right path. And I can't even remember his exact words, just to stay positive and to let me know that he was watching over me. And then he said, that's it. And he hung up. It was like, oh my God. And I sat there for a minute and I thought, well, this is real because I watched the caller ID. I knew it came from Tibet. I knew there was no way this person would have known my landline at my house. And so that was my first real big encounter where Archangel Michael dialed me up and said, look, everything's cool. You don't have to worry. Just keep going. And that was kind of when I got out of that one. So this is my second book now. So I've got one more in me, I guess.
I was going to say that would take your tally to 3.
Yes, that was kind of wild. And you can't make this stuff up. You really can't.
I say that all the time.
So,
I'm not making stuff up.
yeah.
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 So that was crazy, and you never found out any more information about it than that.
Well, no, because I saw it. I knew what he had to say. He was bugged that he actually had to stop his meditation. Then he was told, instructed. That was his instruction under his meditation, his connection. He had connected with Archangel Michael, and then he was given a task, you see. And it was really interesting, really interesting.
That is so funny, and he just channeled your number? That's
Yeah, how did that happen, right? And you could tell he had the accent the whole bit. I was like, "Well, you don't make this up. Nobody just randomly does this." Now my light
funny.
flickering in my house.
I see that. I can see that on the Zoom call. Yeah, your light is flickering. Nancy, you certainly got it going on. Oh my gosh. I'm sure that you have many stories of angelic encounters. Anything else that you'd like to share?
I do work with my guardian angel, and it did take me a while. Just like everybody, you're skeptical. You use your analytical mind, and then you could try to go back to the spiritual. And once I think it's comforting once you do have that confirmation that your angel is with you. It's been really, really gratifying, I will say. I'm able to help myself and other people. I feel closer to God. I feel closer to spirit. It's really expanded my horizons by connecting with the angels. Yeah.
Tell me about your guardian angel. What do you call them and how do they appear to you?
Well, Haley, and she doesn't mind if I use her name. She has a long name, but it's really long. So we just call her Haley. And she is very close to me and she stands next to me. And she's my main angel. The other ones are behind me and they do back me up and protect me. But like a lot of people, I do call in Archangel Michael. And I feel and I know I worked with Michael for protection. There had come a time in my life where I was picking up as an empath, picking up the energy of other people way too much. A lot of times people would try to tap into my energy field because they don't want to create their own light, sometimes intentionally, sometimes unintentionally, mostly unintentionally, but there have been a couple that were intention of taking light. When people can't produce their own light, they want to get somebody else's light. And I know you've heard of this before. So that's when really I called in Archangel Michael and he worked with me to establish more of I wouldn't say barrier, but just a protection field. And a lot of this is believing, but it does work. I will say that. It absolutely works. So it's been an evolvement, I have to say.
Right. Because Dolores Cannon, if you're looking on my Zoom, she's right in a picture of
Oh, wow. Yeah.
that Dolores Cannon. So I know this is audio only, but many of us out there know Dolores Cannon. And she always said that she just called them they, are not going to give steak to a baby, that they'll give you what you can handle at
Right.
the time. And it's
Right.
like, okay, let's get used to that and that level of communication. Let's get used to that level of back and forth. Now let's take you to the next level. So, yeah,
Mm.
you're going to maybe start off kind of, I hate to say more simply, but maybe more pared down, and then as that connection builds, I mean, it's just like forming friendship, a new friend, right? At
It
first,
is.
maybe short, you share some pleasantries with your new friend, share some chit chat, and then as you get to know each other, then you get more in depth about sharing things with your life and depending on them, that kind of thing.
Well, you have to remember your guardian angel. The reason I really want people to connect is your guardian angel's been with you since birth. And that guardian angel knows everything about you. And you're exactly right when you say they're our friends, because they really are. But they want to be acknowledged. They
Yeah.
want you to say, hey, I realize you're standing right next to me because they are. And you do have free will. And I think I talked about this on your other show. We as humans have free will. We've been given that. And it's a gift. So we have to ask for their help. So it's not like I have to ask her every single time. It's not like she whispers in my ear that often. I ask her and then it's all telepathic. And we talked about this too, where the messages from her come immediate. And when I know it's her, it comes immediate. And I do have to say, I want to ask my angel who's holy and divine. You don't want to just say, hey, angel, don't do that. This is serious stuff. It really is, you know what I mean?
It is. Well, it's holy, it's sacred stuff, right?
It is, yeah. You can't be messing around with this because you don't want to call in something that you shouldn't. There's always the dark and the light. And so that's why it's really cool to get the guide so you can go through some of these steps. You say a prayer, you light a candle. It's your intention. What is your intention? Well, to connect with my guardian angel. And you start from there and you establish, like you said, a friendship.
Right, right, right. And there is, kind of a process and a protocol, but we can also just kind of call on them like we do our friends too. So I'll do that sometimes. I just say, "Hey, well, my guardian angel is Veronica." And I go, "Hey,
Oh, okay.
yeah. It's like, "Hey, Veronica, you there? Like, what are we doing today?"
Yeah.
Put forth maybe more of a request or more of a like an in-depth type of thing that I'll go through the whole thing, the protection, the intention, open my chakras, I'll meditate a bit and then call on her more formally. But sometimes I am kind of informal with Veronica. Like,
Mhm.
"Hey, what's up, girl?"
Yeah, that's true. And like you said before, it is a progression. I started out with knowing Michael was around and then my own guardian angel. And then I've moved on. In the book, there's letters from Gabriel because I'm able to channel him. So it's a progression and it's as much as you want to connect. But the more you connect, it feels like, I don't know, the more joyful you become and the more peaceful and more balanced.
And I think that is, Nancy, I think that's because they are so joyful. They are
Yes.
so peaceful.
Yes. They love laughter.
Gosh, yeah.
Yes.
And isn't it contagious when you're with somebody who is joyful? You can just tell that they're in a good mood. Oh my gosh. So I teach this 4-week class. I mean, we're always in rotation of these 4-week classes. Teach a class called Spirit Circle. And last night we were doing a connection exercise with guardian angels. And I was guiding the students through all this, and they just had me laughing so much. I was guiding to the next step, and I was just chuckling to myself because their guardian angels, my guardian angel, they were just so full of joy and just so hilarious. It was infectious.
Well, yes, the energy probably was uplifting in the room with a combination of people. It's always more powerful. So I bet it was a powerful circle.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's a powerful circle. We've got folks from
That's
all.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
I mean, you sit in that energy of the angels, and it's just amazing. I do QHHT as well, Dolores Cannon's work, of course, quantum healing hypnosis technique. And one of the favorite things about that I love is when a client is with their spiritual team, and I just ask their higher self, let this person feel the love you have for them. Flow
Wow.
that love into them so that they know it and they feel it. And oh my gosh, you just feel the love emanating off of these people like an aura, like waves, like the radiating heat. It's just amazing.
Yeah, it's awesome. What I talk about a lot too is I bring in the light daily. And what people can do is actually send love out to their neighborhood from their heart. I always say take it from the heart. So we're not visual today, but take your hands from your heart and take it out and send that energy, that beautiful energy out to the world. Send it out and ask for peace. Send it to your neighborhood. Send it to your neighbor who's grouchy. Send it to the kid. I have a school that's real close to me, so I send it to the kids. But the more I believe, the more you send out this good positive energy, then of course it comes back. And it's just a whole thing. It's awesome.
We were talking about this Tibetan monk who called you, familiar with the practice of metta.
Not so much. Talk to me about this.
Well, it's just sending loving kindness. It's a meditation in which you send loving kindness, right? So we generate it first in the heart,
Yeah.
send
Well,
loving.
that's what I'm doing, huh?
Exactly. You're
That's, I'm doing it. I'm doing my own version. I love it. I've been doing it for a while.
We start with someone who we love, someone's easy to love, a spouse or a loved one or a
Yeah.
kid or an animal. And then we go to somebody neutral, somebody maybe at the grocery store that you see, but you really don't know their name, or somebody that you pass in the hall at work and you don't really know them. And then we'll go to somebody difficult, a hard
Mhm.
person that pushes your buttons. And then we
Mhm.
always want to send that loving kindness to your neighbors. When I do this at church, I'll talk about the people in the room, the people in the building, the people in this neighborhood, people in this country. And we always end up with imagine that you're looking at yourself in the mirror.
Exactly. And it works with pets too. I want to say that. I send love and light to my pets. And it's interesting because I have cats and they're really like energetic souls. And so when I send it, I can watch their reaction. Like you can see that they're receiving the energy. You know what I mean? I don't mean to sound out there, but it's kind of cool.
Oh, our animals are so just like joyous and they're conscious. They don't even have a conscious mind that's getting in the way. It's a conscious mind is not interfering with them at all. So yeah, it's super easy to send them loving kindness and get that in return. I love that. And you help people connect with their angels all the time.
I do because I feel like it's a comfort we spoke about. It really is. It's nice to know that you have an angel. We all have an angel next to us. We just haven't been taught. It hasn't been recognized. It's in the Bible. If you ask somebody, do you believe in guardian angels or just do you believe in angels? 99.9% of the time, they'll tell you yes. And when you say to them, do you know you have a guardian angel? They will most of the time say yes. All the clients that I have are really excited to connect with their angel, to find out whether they're male or female or no sex at all, or what their name is. And it's really fun. It's actually kind of a fun thing to do.
Oh, I think it is too. And
Mhm.
it's funny because I'll talk to a lot of people about their angels and even other lifetimes. It's like something that you might learn about. Well, with angels, something you might learn about in Sunday school and learn about in church, but people don't really think that applies to them. It's like that's for
I
other people.
know, right? And that's just our society, unfortunately. And that's why I'm bringing this to light. And you are too. And I think it's really important that everybody know that they do have the angels. They're God's helpers. They're spirit's helpers. They're here to assist us, but we do have free will and we do have to ask and we do have to connect. Yeah.
We do. Yeah. So many times people will think, oh, well, that's something that Joan of Arc did. She talked to angels, or that's something that Mother Mary did. She talked to Archangel Gabriel. But
Mhm.
when they think of, oh, I have an angelic team, I have angels around me, I have a guardian angel.
Yeah. I'll tell you a quick story. This year, actually, gosh, I think February of this year, I was in LA. I was at the Conscious Life Expo and I was speaking about the angels. And I had walked in and met some people in line, just getting my reservation for the hotel, actually. So we kind of all connected and they came to my class. And so I had three or four people that we all kind of had lunch together. We had dinner together. And then they came to my class and it was in the evening. Then the next morning, we all had breakfast together and they all had connected with an angel. Every single one of them had,
Wow.
yes, they were asking Archangel Raphael what class they should attend today. I mean, we were at breakfast and it was so cool. And even though I teach this stuff and I know it was just really cool to see it in practice, to see it. And since I've seen you, Christy, and I won't mention any names, but podcast hosts, radio hosts who have connected with their angels since they've met me and read my book. There have been guests on some of the live shows that I've done readings for that have texted me or sent me Instagram messages that they connected more than I even thought.
Oh, that's it. Well, and I started this podcast, The Real Life Angel Encounters, because I had talked to several people who had these crazy stories of angelic intervention, mysterious strangers who show up out of nowhere just at their time of need, loved ones who come to them, just stories of synchronicities and impossible things that happen. And I was like, we
Mhm.
need to know about this. People
Well,
need
yeah.
to know and have this information because we've all got these stories. And so then the most amazing thing happens, Nancy, is that when people listen to this, they start to talk about this with their friends and their family, and they realize that more people have stories than they even thought. And it's like, I'm not alone in this. And other people have these things
Well,
happening.
yeah, I was just shocked actually. I mean, I asked the angels, of course, to get this information out because it's for humanity. It's always just amazing and very gratifying to hear. And I will talk about the angel signs briefly. You probably have a lot of people talk about the signs, the numbers,
Yeah, the numbers.
but
Mhm.
yeah, the numbers are so prevalent no matter who I'm reading for. I did a reading yesterday. Her husband was seeing fives, and I'm like, oh, well, that's a new beginning. And so I've learned the numbers. And it's interesting because as you connect with the divine, as you connect with your angel, you are shown these signs. The numbers have always been here. The universe is constructed of numbers, but we have not seen the signs. We haven't paid enough attention. But now all of a sudden, people are becoming aware and they're seeing the signs. And it's really uplifting. I want to say that, Christy. It's really uplifting to see.
Right. I don't know if you know the story of the Jesus fish, that
Yeah.
two
Yeah.
not right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
legend has it, who knows? I mean, none of us were there at the time, but they would say that since the followers of Jesus had to be so underground because it was dangerous, they would be talking with somebody and think, this person might be kind of hip to what's going on. So they'd absentmindedly draw the line, the circle, the half arc with their toe in the sand. And if the other person knew, and was also on the same page, they would draw the same line and make a fish. So maybe it's just a story, but I like that because it's kind of like a secret symbol. And I think that when people are talking to their friends, their families, their loved ones, their people at church, and they're just thinking, oh, this person seems like they might believe in angels. This person thinks seems to be kind of on the same type of page spiritually that I am. Talking about angels is in a way that sign,
Mhm.
right? We get on the same
Well,
page.
it connects us. Yes, it does connect us. And we all wake up at a different time. So we're all at different vibrations. We're all vibrating at a different vibration. But as we work with the angels and work with God and become more spiritual, we resonate at a higher vibration. You'll have new friends when you change your vibration. And you probably know this. You've experienced this, I'm sure.
Well, and I hope everybody who's listening knows this and experiences this. We all have friends that come
Mhm.
in and out of our lives, right? Even long standing friends will sometimes come in and out of our lives. And just knowing that sometimes when your vibration changes, when you start on the spiritual path, when you have experienced an awakening and you are, I hate to say leveling up, but you're just changing
You're
frequencies.
changing. You're just changing frequencies. Yeah, I've seen a lot of divorce because of this. Myself included. I divorced in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I thought I would be married forever. I thought that was it for me. And I had hoped that my husband would have wanted to grow with me, but some people don't. And some people aren't ready. And you can't push anybody or make anybody grow until they're ready. But you also can't hold yourself back. And I just want to say that. And so it's difficult, the most difficult thing I ever had to do. But I had to move forward myself so I could grow. And it has been worth every bit of it. I mean, it was painful, but it's been worth it because I'm a whole different person than I used to be. I mean, have you found that too?
Oh, absolutely. That you're just no longer resonating with people around you when you start to change and your vibration starts to shift. So,
Yeah.
because you just, for whatever reason, you're not a vibrational match anymore with that person.
Right.
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 Now, if somebody wanted to do a reading with you, if somebody wanted to schedule a reading with you, where would they go?
They can go to nancyyearout.com
Hmm.
and visit me there. Yes. Yeah.
Schedule a session there.
I teach angel classes. I have an empath class coming up. I do one-on-ones and I do energy healings too. I have very strong energy and I love healing. That's fun. I do the hands of light. I can send you, Christy, a little energy while we're here, but I really enjoy that. So yeah, you can catch me at nancyyearout.com. It's nancyyearout.com.
I love that. I love that. Thank you so much for joining me here today. I love talking about angels, and we've got so much to talk about with all of that. So we'll keep in touch with your angel book. I am not ready to share my news about a book yet, but I will be sharing my news about a book coming up in the next few months. But yeah, we're going to keep in touch and continue this conversation.
All right, sounds great. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you for listening. Please subscribe and follow, and be sure to share this episode. The more people who know about this podcast, the more great story submissions we get. Have a story to share? Email your own real-life angel encounter to angelencounterspodcast@gmail.com or visit radiatewellnesscommunity.com/real-life angel encounters podcast. Or join our Facebook group and continue the discussion. Want to know what your angels and loved ones have to tell you? Schedule an appointment with me at radiatewellnesscommunity.com. A special thanks to James Wheeler for the original music and to Tiffany Baumgarten for the logo design.